Nigeria's internal security has deteriorated significantly in the past few years with the activities of Boko Haram, bandits and kidnappers going unchecked. It has been opined severally that the porous nature of the country's borders is one of the major factors fueling insecurity in the region, as criminals from neighboring countries flowed in without any hindrance whatsoever. According to several reports, Nigeria's borders are notoriously used in smuggling contraband goods and illegal immigrants, weapons, drugs and human trafficking, trafficking of illegally mined natural resources, including the illegal timber, oil and diamond trade, among others. In an interview with a security expert, Dixon Osage, he said the porosity of the borders contributed to a high level of insecurity, making it effortless for the irregular immigrant to take shelter in the country for their cross-border activities.
Our advice that we need to shut down our national borders with immediate alacrity, because that's where the threat is coming from. A borderless nation is a no nation. So our national borders must be declared a state of emergency. We have a lot of irregular migrants, taking our border space and going to the ungoverned space. Because most of these criminal elements, once they activate their crime, they go to the ungoverned space, and the ungoverned space is where they take their shelter. There's one time Nigerian celebrity armed robber, I say celebrity armed robber because he was well known all over the world, he confessed that the success of his armed robbery days was based on the porosity of our national borders. So we need to look into the porosity of our national borders, because as of today we have over 1,000 ungoverned space, irregular routes where most of these criminal elements pass their arms and ammunition. Then when we look into border security, then we need to also look into our security agents as well, because these guys that are putting their life on the line, they must be well taken good care of.
In August 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari had ordered the closure of all land borders within neighboring countries like Benin Republic, Cameroon, Chad and Niger against importation of food items from other countries and the proliferation of light arms. This has generated several reactions, with many Nigerians alleging that only the southern borders were affected, as illegal immigrants and influential Nigerians were still making use of the northern borders of the country despite the president's announcement. On the 16th of December 2020, Nigeria announced the partial reopening of borders to allow passage of light vehicles and pedestrians. On the 22nd of December 2020, the president said it was only God that could supervise Nigeria's border with the Niger Republic. The border terrain is mostly hilly with thick vegetation, which makes it very hard for effective surveillance. The major border countries with Nigeria are Cameroon with 1,690 kilometers in the east, Niger with 1,497 kilometers in the north, Benin with 773 kilometers in the west, and Chad with 87 kilometers in the northeast. Over 100 illegal routes lead or link Nigeria to other neighboring all African countries. Damatri and Maiduguri have over 250 footpaths unknown to security agencies that lead Niger, Chad and Cameroon, as they are unmanned and unprotected, which serve as a link or route for merchants of that for the proliferation of arms into the country. Meanwhile, some Nigerians have opined that the Nigerian border does not need the intervention of spiritual or magical powers for its safety, but a government that will deploy technological devices which will be able to monitor all its activities. According to them, these technological devices, which can be used to effectively monitor and manage the activities of the country's borders, are affordable, but the government is not willing to buy them. The negligence of the border security and the mismanagement has contributed to the prevalent threat because they are not monitored, controlled or patrolled like other countries. According to Isaac Albert, a professor of African history, peace and conflict studies, corruption also being part of the problem faced by Nigerian borders, as the personnel who manage or control the borders are easily influenced by money given while crossing the borders. The second problem is corruption. Our people that are in charge of the borders are very corrupt. If you give those who are supposed to be manning the borders money, they will allow anything to pass. However, I must make that point from our own professional experience. Many of the arms that pass through the borders pass without the knowledge of the border managers because they are loaded in bags of rice, used vehicles and other items. If, for example, you are transporting arms into Nigeria through the Benin Republic, the custom officials at the border would only take money for allowing the vehicles to pass, but unknown to them what the car is loaded with. Sadly, the government has done little or nothing about the influx of illegal arms and other cross-border activities, especially through the northern states into the country. Meanwhile, given the level of insecurity in the country, the government in March 2021 upgraded 4 land formations, namely Idi Iroko in Ogun, Mfam in Cross River, Jibiya in Katsina, and Ilaya in Sokoto State, to command status quo, deploying 50% of the Nigerian Immigration Service workforce to secure the borders, which have been channels for criminal activities. How can a nation be secure when some borders in Nigeria can only use rope tied across to separate it from other countries as demarcation? Following the death of the Chadian president, Idris Deby, on April 19, 2021, there have been reports about refugees leaving Chad en masse into Cameroon. And from past experiences, considering the proximity, the refugees' final destination will be Nigeria. Also, the immigration boss Mohamed Babandede had earlier stated in a report that 1.5 million immigrants have successfully moved to Nigeria through the borders in 2020. Considering how important the Immigration Office is in the fight against insecurity, we approach the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service through its Public Relations Officer, James Sunday, to ask for comments, but all efforts proved abortive as they have not responded.